Yeah, okay. I'll make a start then. My name's Nick Robert Salati, and I'm a tutor on the distance learning courses, the freelance course, the news and journalism course, and the sub-editing and design course. I've been a journalist for around 20 years, working for a number of national and regional British publications. I've written for The Guardian, The Mail on Sunday, Sunday Express. I've written for a couple of women's magazines and the food magazine Fresh. I've done the full range of editorial duties, from reporter and feature writer to sub-editor, news editor and editor. I began my career in Birmingham, working for a news agency, and after that I worked for my first daily newspaper, which was called the Birmingham Daily News, and I now work mainly on a freelance basis. I've been interested to discover that I've done a number of celebrity interviews with people such as Jamie Oliver, Shane Ritchie, Dara O'Brien, Francis Rossi, Rick Wakeman. I hope you're all familiar with these people. They are mainly British celebrities. Oh, I did Andy Williams as well about a year ago. So that's me in a nutshell. I didn't want to go on too long. Over to you, Andrew.
Well, like Nick, been around in the business for a fair time, and spent a lot of that time in regional papers, and especially in features teams in a variety of different roles. I mean, I think like most new journalist in those days, I joined as a reporter and got an early break to join the features team on the daily paper in the northeast of Scotland, and stayed there quite a long time, going on to become features editor, before spending a couple of years out at the BBC and coming back to print journalism in Bath and latterly in Cardiff. Like Nick, nowadays I've been a freelance trainer, and as well as writing, obviously, for the past sort of 6 years, which sometimes means I'm not writing as much as perhaps I'd like to. And during the latter end of my sort of daily career in sort of the regional papers, obviously working with different types of sort of production jobs and editing jobs, and increasingly involved in training journalists within a number of the big newspaper groups in the country. So in terms of tonight, I know that we've got I think a general Q&A sort of session lined up for you. Like Nick, I work on the distance learning side of things as well, and lecture to the attendance courses that we run here in London. So between us, we hope we'll be able to sort of answer any of the questions that you may have about different aspects of the business, and also the school and the different courses here. And my understanding, but Nick will correct me if I'm wrong, is that we've got a sort of formal sort of lecture session, and then there's an opportunity afterwards for sort of any individual questions that you may have. Titan will keep us all right on the technical side and make sure people are getting their seats and getting their sound sorted out. Is that the brief that you've got as well, Nick?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much an open forum, so we'd like to throw it open to you. We'll try to answer questions as thoroughly and honestly as we can. And if this is new for you, it's new for me as well. So I think what would be good if we had just one question at a time and not several questions all at once, so we can deal with one question and then move on to the next one.
Sort of LSJ distance learning students in here, I think, who have been taking the sort of freelance and internet and courses like that. So obviously we're happy to deal with any queries relating to those, as well as or those aspects of the business. So we'll obviously we'll take it in turns depending on sort of who's best equipped to deal with your particular query. As tutors, one of the interesting, brings us into contact with different sort of niche areas of the business, and because a lot of former students have moved on to sort of apart from every corner of the world into various aspects of the trade press and national papers and English-speaking papers around the world too. So if there's anything about that aspect of the business and careers in these difficult times, hopefully we can help you a little bit there.
Yeah, absolutely. Are we ready to roll? Do we have a question there? Somebody had a break from their course last year. Have my subject for the interview, but don't know how to continue the course again. Any tips? It's amazing how many students this happens to. I mean, you're certainly not the first. You know, there are dozens of students who have this break between assignments. But I don't really see it as a problem, and it's not a problem for me. I sometimes get these long emails from people apologising profusely that they've I've not heard from them for a while. But I understand that people have busy lives and they have careers and families, and it's not always easy to turn out one assignment every week, which is perhaps what a lot of students envisage when they start the course. But if you're having a problem motivating yourself, or if you're having a problem finding a suitable subject, just drop me an email through the tutor's email address, and I'll have a look at it and see if I can come up with a few ideas. I hope that answers your question anyway.
Certainly, I mean, technically, you can pick up any of the courses at any stage within the sort of the couple of year sort of period, and I think we've all had students in the past who've found it for as you say, life circumstances that they're sort of remotivated and ready to start again. I think it's worth rereading the earlier chapters just to get you in the mood, but you don't have to go back and repeat things. You can take up from the lesson that you last submitted, so that would be fine.
Right, there's another question. I've just hit local chat because I think we've missed a couple of questions in the meantime, and we've had one from Jojo. Who says that, I don't know, I presume it's a female. She says, I'm about to start a 3-month course. How useful is the shorthand course? Would it be likely to be too much on top of the 3-month post-grad course?
Is Jojo joining us in London on the attendance course then? Is that what you mean? And you've been offered the option of the shorthand classes? Is that okay if I butt in on that one, Nick?
Yeah, sure, Andrew. Yeah, go ahead.
It's not a sort of an easy question to answer, because obviously it is quite a commitment, and I think you're right to be asking about that. The 3-month course is a very intensive one, and I think it's probably more intensive than, certainly this is the feedback that we get from students there, who say it's much more intensive than they thought, and sometimes more demanding than, for those that have recently been at university and so on. So certainly time's of the essence. There's quite a lot of practical writing to do, and that does mean that extra commitment on the shorthand is more time, but it depends a little bit on where you see yourself going. I think Nick would agree. I mean, shorthand itself is an immensely useful skill. It's not absolutely vital in every aspect of the business, but it is required in regional papers. So for many of the big newspaper groups like Newsquest and Trinity Mirror and Arch and insist on it. So one way you might want to go about it, Jojo, would be to go for it, to see how you get on. we certainly know that, I mean, there is a dropout rate on the shorthand side of things just because it does involve that commitment. So, I mean, it's something you could certainly taste and see if you think you can cope with it at the same time as the other studies.